This is Reality Revelation Restoration. I'm Chris Gray. Today, I'm here right beside the riverbank, and I think I'll start off with the reason why I do these videos is because I want you, I know that you need to meditate. And the purpose of it is to incinerate dishonesty. A dishonest spirit has invaded your psyche. And the only way to shrink it down and make it work the way it was originally designed to is to reactivate your conscience. Because most people ran away, they rebelled from it. And I'm here to show you how to do this. But I have to show you, I have to describe what's happened to you so you understand why you need to take your pills, why you need to drink your booze, why you're upset and angry and fearful and pain, misery, suffering, and despair and doubt are in control of your life. Now, what has to happen is you have to become aware again. You have to, with your meditation practiced, once you begin, you don't stop. And it's very simple. Very simple. You sit, you find a place to go by yourself, where no one's going to distract you. And you're going to have to sit in a chair and sit upright and face what's gotten in you. You're going to have to face what you enabled this thing. You were coerced to, because the world can't accept us as God created us, because we're too aware, and you can't be a sucker and be sucked off of by the parasites if you're aware. You can't be hateful and resentful because you realize this is insanity and it makes you sick. So you're going to have to learn to sit still and calm yourself down and face, without falling asleep, because the devil is going to want to put you to sleep. Demons are in your mind. Their demons are in everyone's mind until they're not. And all this stuff has to go. And the Holy Spirit in your conscience together are going to make this stuff run for the hills. It can't survive in your presence. It can't. It's going to try. Everyone has temptation. You're always going to have temptation. So you just have to learn to live with it. Actually, you need temptation. You need stress, because what it does is it drives you to higher realms of truth until you see where you have to stay in the light. And you'll see, some point you're going to see how you're going to do that. You're going to be shown how you're going to do that. But you have to be ready to give it all up, because it's all dishonesty. Is you lie to yourself. You worship what got in there, and it whispers to you. It's very subtle and seductive. It's the spirit of Eve. Now, before I go any further, you know I'm telling you the truth because no one's going to tell it to you like this. There's nothing. Your ego, the way God created it, is meant to. It's nothing wrong with it. But they got in and upset. They upset you. So what we're doing here, what I'm trying to do here, what I'm trying to convince you of, is what we're doing is you're going to get the Eve out of the ego, because in the Garden of Eden, we all know that. Look, I'm going to try to take the Bible out of this for a minute here, because what's happened is there's con artists and liars and thieves out there. So women are more susceptible to this, but men are too. These people are going to try to tell you that there's an easy way out, and they're going to try to lead you astray. There is no easy. When you go down this road, you think you can cheat your way to heaven and lie. You're just going to get sick. You're going to get sick. What's going on here is you got the feminine spirit that has the doubt, the pain. The ladies need to do this too, because this has been carried. Your mother passed the torch on to you, and the buck has to stop somewhere. And this spirit of Eve is now our ancestors. I'm going to take the Eve out of it. It's just woman, okay, and man. Now early on, men knew that to survive you had to be aware, and life isn't easy, but it has its rewards when you remain true to yourself. So for a long time, men and women probably did okay, but as the population grew, there was sin, seduction, and evil spirits invaded humanity. And they're liars and con artists, and they tell you that you can take an easy way out by being dishonest, by at the expense of others you can advance your dishonest agenda. And this has been passed down through, it's a legacy. It's called sin. And these people are everywhere, and they like to go for the woman. They like to tell the woman she doesn't, when the woman's dissatisfied, and women, let's face it, most women are dissatisfied with the way things are, because life is tough in reality, and you have to go out and make your way. And these people, these dishonest liars and thieves and robbers, are telling you that you don't have to do it that way. You listen to me, and you listen to them, and they'll show you another way to do it. But it always ends in disaster, because it's animal is what it is. And humans were not created to be animals. We have a consciousness that is better than that. But these people know that they can make the animal rise by dishonesty. Because it's all about dishonesty, lying to yourself. So, what people do is, what they've done to you, the world in at large has done to all of us. No one gets away. No one. What they've done is they know that you can't stay aware. Your parents are guilty. Everyone's guilty of this, and but they don't do it. This is unconscious, of course. It's all unconscious. Jesus said on the cross that, "Forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do," because they don't know what they're doing. You're worshiping dishonesty. You're worshiping this. You got to be aware to see this. This is why you have to sit still and calm yourself down. This can take time because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of impurities that have to get burnt up in the light. And then you'll be able to perform the function that you were created to do. But you can't do it. You can't serve two masters. And what happens is, for a while, you're going to be scared of the light because it's powerful. But the ego's powerful too. Never underestimate the evil spirit. It's powerful. It has a seduction. It's subtle. It creeps. It creeps around and looks for It looks for your weaknesses, and then it enters, and then it takes your mind over. And when your mind's taken over, so is your body. So this is why it makes sense, doesn't it? They're not going to tell you this at church because they're con artists too. Let's face it. They just want your money so they can buy the stuff. These guys are lazy. They don't want, not all of them, of course, but a lot of these guys are lazy. They just want to get fat and have a nice life for themselves off of the money that they skim off of the donations. You don't want nothing to do with this. You want to go out and work hard and earn your money honestly as you can, in a system built on lies. This way you don't have the guilty conscience, because your conscience will save you. Your conscience, when you have guilt, there's something that you're not doing that you should be doing, and it's hanging over your head, and you're ducking from it. Or there's something that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing. But you can't see this. You can't, it's confusing. It's like in a fog until you become aware again. This is why you have to sit still. You close your eyes. Okay, you find a nice place to go where no one's going to bother you. You sit upright in a chair. You have to become proficient at this, because what you're doing is you're finding this spot that you're going to stay in when you commit. You're going to find this spot, and it blocks out all error. Not that the error is not going to try to come back in, but you're going to be too wise for it. You're not going to allow it to happen anymore, and you'll become stronger as you go. And all these evil spirits are going to try to attack you, because this is what they do. You have to learn to live with temptation, but temptation has a purpose. It brings you, when you endure it and don't reach for something to put yourself to sleep again, music, food, pills, booze, sex. I mean, men and women have sex, if you're married and you have a wife, it's okay to have sex, but you got to watch out too, because a man doesn't need to spend his whole life in a bedroom, and because the wife isn't happy, because she can control you through this. If she can't control you any other way, she's going to try to use, women want to control the man. It's like the dog owning in control of the owner. The dog takes the owner for a walk. You see, the man isn't supposed to be hungry. I don't want nothing from my wife. How can she have respect for me if I'm weak for her and weak for all this sensual world? How can a woman? She might not. She probably doesn't like me the way I am. But it's I. What are you gonna do? You know, you're gonna be a jelly, a spineless jellyfish. This country. This country used to be land, home of the free and the brave. Now it's home of the coward and the slave. I mean, to think that we've fallen so far into this, where, I mean, people have masks on because of a virus, and they just suck up this lie, all the lies of the media, and they live in fear. They live in fear because they're dishonest, because they're led astray, and they worship fear. They worship the evil spirit, the spirit of Eve. Like I said, you've got to get the Eve out of the ego. This is where the problem is. Look, the ego, when it's serves the devil, it's not going to want to find. The ego doesn't want peace and joy. It's totally. It's not it's not on the menu. It detests it because it's what will undo it. So this is why you have to meditate. You have to commit, and you have to close your eyes. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and look through the middle of your forehead. Right here. You don't strain your eyes. This takes no effort. None. And you just keep watching what goes on in there. Over time, you start to see patterns. You start to see, you realize it, that it's all illusion. And you're going to realize a lot more. You're going to realize that it doesn't matter what anyone else does or has. There's nothing outside of you. Your mind is all there is. There's nothing real outside of your own mind. Other people's thoughts are all illusions too. They're directives. But they should have no influence over the direction your life goes. If it means that you have to if you work in a real dishonest environment where all the people are they're just asleep, and you can tell if they are because they're ill, in some way, shape, or form. They worship vanity. Like some people, I go on YouTube and I see these guys, and all they do is think about their abs all day long, and building bigger muscles and bigger abs. See, with the ego, it's always bigger and more. They're on the steroids. You know what? They probably will come out of this eventually. There's more to life than having abs and working out in a gym all day. You know what? There's a place and time and place for this. But I mean, I got abs. I got solid rock abs. I don't work out. I run, but I work hard. And I'm in excellent condition, all from doing what's right, not standing in front of a mirror and pumping myself up all day long. Have I done this in the past? I never stood in front of a mirror and pumped myself up. Maybe a couple. When I used to go to the gym when I was young, might have did it a couple times here and there, but not for long. But I've always, when I did work out with weights, I always did it down in a basement without any mirrors and just did it by myself. I don't need anyone to motivate me. I'm already self-motivated. I don't need, other people have good ideas. I get this. Um, but you have to sit still in the chair. Back to meditation now. You have to sit still in the chair, and the light is going to conquer your. You're going to see how deceptive this thing is. It's up is down. Everything is in reverse. Like the ego thinks the way to overcome people is to beat them up or cheat or lie or steal or an uprising. You have to like rise above them by dishonesty. And this is judgment, you see. It's always the judgment. Because the ego is a feminine, weak, it comes from Eve. It's a feminine, anti-God, weak, dishonest spirit that it's going to tell you, because it's weak and dishonest, and it can't come into the light, and it can't do what's right. It's going to try to rise above people by condemnation. That one's no good. This one's, they may not be any good, but if they're not any good, it's because you know why. Because they've been possessed. They've been taken over. Because this world does a number on us. And some people never recover from it. The damage, the psychological damage done through the intimidation and the pressure. And there's no one like me around. And most of them couldn't hear this message anyways. This is like dumping acid on a message like this. This is like dumping hydrochloric acid on the ego. It's too much to bear for some people. They just live in such a lie. And if your life is filled with pain and doubt and fear, it's not your fear. It's the ego's fear that you're going to find it out, and it's going to whip everything up inside there and raise hell to keep you from finding joy and peace. Like I said, once you find joy and peace and sanity, you're not going to want the ego anymore. You're not going to accept its offerings. It's kind of like it's a god, like it's an idol that it talks to you and you believe it, and it takes you on a journey. You worship it. Like I said, worship is you find worth in something, and then you go on a little journey with it. And who knows? And the ego's not going to take you anywhere but into illusion. That's in suffering, in pain, in misery, in death. But to get your awareness back, which is still there, but it's being suppressed, or it's being censored. You have to sit still, because what the meditation is going to do, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't have what it's doing is it's fasting. You're taking time out and getting away from all the stuff that's got you upset, and so your intuition can come in, and show you. Your intuition can come in and show you how stupid the ego is. And like when someone tries to, you have to do the opposite of what the ego thinks is right, and then you're right. Most of that just involves just staying calm and being brave and enduring and making allowances and accept the role that God has for you. God has a lofty role for you, but you refused it because it meant that some people weren't going to like you, and they were going to feel bad, and they were going to call you names, and try to make you seem like you were crazy, because they're crazy and they want you to be crazy too. There's a story. I heard this. I read this. It was a king, and he lived on the top of a big hill, and everyone loved the king. And then it goes something like this. And they used to come up to visit him, and he used to talk to them all, and everybody had a great relationship with the king. He was a good, great, wise king. And then all of a sudden, one day, the water became contaminated. And all the people drank the water, and they all became insane. So the king, no one went to visit the king anymore. And the king, after a while, the king got real lonely. So he went down to visit the people. And guess what he did? He drank the water. Get it? So the most important part is when your meditation is going to take you away. You're gonna find this spot where you can view all this stuff within your mind, and you're gonna become proficient at it. You're not gonna get sucked in, because you're gonna stay grounded by being aware of your hands and your outline of your body, and this will keep you from being pulled into it, because this is powerful, and it's going to want to suck you in and take you on a journey with it. In hypnosis is what it's called. It's going to hypnotize you, and you're already hypnotized by it. Now, what you're trying to do now is get away, is to get some objectivity to it. And when you do this, you're going to become more calm, and you're going to become more brave and more patient, slowly, incrementally. And when you become more calmed down and more brave and more patient, you're going to take chances that you wouldn't do for the fear and the pain of the ego wouldn't allow you to be adventurous and break out of the mold. You're gonna realize, like, you don't need certain things anymore. You're gonna start to cut down on it and back away from it. And these are the bad habits. And when the bad habits go, so doesn't the layer of trauma that was. You'll see all this. You'll see it, and then the drinking will go. The smoking will go. And then, see, a lot of people are afraid to do this because they know that there's family members aren't going to like that they took responsibility for their own inner space and aren't going to be pushovers anymore. You're going to have to get, I'm just trying to let you see, I'm trying to prepare you for what's in store for you. But it's worth it, because I can do anything I want, right? I mean, they try to stop me from being myself, I wouldn't wear a mask anywhere, but the feminist wackos. Because this is all this stuff comes from feminism. It's all feminism, all of it. They they don't want me. Not all women. Some women know this. I know. I see them. They know me. They see me. They see me without a mask on. Everyone else has got a mask on, and I can see the smile on their face because they know they didn't get me. They know that. They know that I'm not. I'm not an automaton. I'm not a zombie. And they smile. I can see them smiling with their little silly mask on. I can tell by the eyes. But all right. Now this is the main problem. You just have to keep meditating, and don't give up. Never give up. And eventually you'll find you'll find your strength and everything, in your good health, and everything will come back to you. It's inevitable. You just have to be patient. Now, what's wrong with this country is the men are emasculated by vanity and pills and booze and greed and sex. Did I leave anything out? Porn. They're all emasculated. It's like, so now the con artists and the creeps and the communists and the Nazis and all these whack jobs that took the land of the free and the brave, and they turned it into the land of the coward and the slave. They're taking over. Is what they're doing through the media. It's like this. Right? I like to use this analogy because it's right on target. Out in Africa, Serengeti, right? You got your lions, and all throughout Africa, there's lions and baboons and jackals and hyenas and wild dogs. Now, let's just say the lioness found a way to emasculate the protector, the male lion, the one that all the other creatures live in fear of. You see where I'm going with this, right? Let's say they got the lioness got the male lion to retreat to his basement. No, just to go away with his tail between his legs, right? Wouldn't be long before the hyenas and all the predators survey this, and they see, where's the male lion? He's not. I don't see. He's gone. They made him go away in shame. So guess what the predators are gonna do? The predators are gonna see this and they're gonna go, the male lion's gone? Let's go get him. That's what's happening here. The men have a mask on. They fell for this. They're just like frightened sheep. Everyone's like these frightened little sheep with their mask on. They actually think that virus can't penetrate that mask. It does. I work at the airport. I never put a mask on. And all my friends, most of the people I work with, because I'm not around too many people at work, I don't have to have a mask on all the time. Well, most of the people I work with did have a mask on. Guess what? They got most of them, not all of them, good amount, half of them got COVID. I was around all these people. I never got it. But they got it, and they wore the masks. What's that tell you? And also, don't forget now, 99% of the people that get this, these are facts. 99% of the people that get COVID recover. That's 99%. Enough of that. Yeah, I don't want to go on too much longer with this. Let's see. Yeah. When you worship idols, I see these people, right? These these race this race, and I work with Hispanics and blacks, and I love them. I don't know if they love me, but they do. And we all get along. None of us pay attention to this stupid stuff that goes on. We all get along like brothers. We're like family. We have fun and we work hard. There's no race. I could care less about race. There's only one race, the human race. Let's see. All right. So it's all about idols that make you sick. I'm just going to end this thing, I think, with idols, because this is the big problem. Worshipping idols. Remember what I said about worshiping. These people, they live in these they buy all this stuff. They just buy, they think they can buy their way to heaven. They buy all this stuff. And they live in these big houses, and they're all sick and plastic. They feel ugly, and they're constantly doing plastic surgery because the ugliness of the inside comes on the outside. They look in the mirror and they see ugliness because they're not listening to their conscience. They're living wrong. They have all this crap they've collected to bolster the dishonest spirit, and they're all sick. They worship the idols. They live, see, they look, they appear, it's all about appearances here, like that thing that talks to you in your mind. It is appearance. It says it's you. It isn't you. Now these people, they want the appearance of good, but they go, look at everybody, because they're so far off of the mark. They're thinking, if I buy all this stuff, I'll look good and I'll feel good. They don't feel good. Why would you think they would have a plastic surgeon cut their face up? Because they don't feel good and they look in the mirror and they look at the ugliness because they're looking at flesh, and that's all they think they are, is flesh. And the vanity is, what they do is they appear to have everything. They're hoarders. They appear to have everything, but actually they're living in poverty. They have spiritual poverty. Like, not all, but most. If they want this system is broken. It's gotten too out of control with the money, the trillion. It needs a reset, a divine reset. Capitalism is still better than any other system that they have out there yet, that they've developed so far. Like, communism is a complete farce, because what happens is the demigods take over, and the intellectuals take over, and they're dead from the neck up. All this stuff is all up here. It's all illusion, and they have this, like, this grandiosity of how they want to be worshipped as the saviors. They're not the saviors. They're just going to lead this into more this death and despair and total control into the unnatural will take over completely. There will be, everything will be in reverse of, it's ungodly, and then you got fascism. That's just the flip side of it. It's the same, almost the same thing. That's no good. We already see where that goes. So It's Judeo-Christianity is, well, let's say, I'll try to explain this real quick. Is Jesus came to save us from the laws. They knew the laws couldn't, God knew that they couldn't follow, the people couldn't follow the Ten Commandments with human effort. They tried. And they didn't have an ally because God's hands off most of the time. So they didn't have an ally. What they needed was the Word to come in. So he made a man, God, Jesus. He put him in the flesh, the Spirit, the Word. Put him in a flesh body and put him down here. And he spoke the Word to everyone. He wasn't religious. Jesus wasn't religious. He came to save us from religion because he saw the creeps that had infiltrated it and turned it into a fashion show, a vanity. So Jesus came and said, look, this is how it's supposed to be. He who's without sin cast the first stone. Let your eyes be a lamp unto your body. You can tell the tree by its fruit. All the stuff that Jesus said. This is the stuff that disables evil spirits. And so Jesus said, he knew what he was here to do. He didn't shrink from it. He came here and he did it. And he said, when this little flesh body goes, I'm going to come back again in a spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Counselor. Then I'm going to come, you're going to invite me in, accept me, and I'll come in and clean house in there and keep you on the right track. And then you got your conscience, which is a powerful thing. The ego, never underestimate the ego, because it's a seductor. They're creepy thing, and it's always there. Evil spirits are always going to be there. They want to take you back, and one thing you're going to have to get used to when you're on the path is this stuff's always, you're going to see just how much of it there really is. Once it's outside of you, now you're going to see how it wants to come back in. But, you're not going to feel good every minute. That's the problem. Everybody wants to feel good all the time. They don't want to do the right things to feel good. They want to take a pill. It's easy. Always the easy way out. Cheating. It's everywhere. People cheat on each other. You get it. Now, I'll show you. I'm going to end this video, but I want to show you where I am next to this bank. And this is nice. I'm going to take this out. Hope it might cut out on me. I don't know. Forgive me. Okay. Get this right. Sorry. I want to get over to the bank and so I can show you this spot. This is a nice spot. You can go swimming here too in the summer. It's nice and sandy. It doesn't look like it right now, but it is. You can see down in there. See that? You can hear the morning doves, the birds. You see? This is nice. So I pretty much said everything I got to say for today. I know that this is not the message you're going to find at church. Thank God. Because they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going anywhere. All these guys, they're all just collecting. They're all getting fat and collecting off the, sucking off the people, and nothing. They're not getting better. I watch them. They sing their songs, and they never talk about this stuff. You know why? Because their little flock will leave. They'll be left with, if in a room of 200, you talk like this, you'll have 5 left. But reality, God is reality. And only reality can cure. Only living in reality is the kingdom available by staying present. And you have God shows you where you're supposed to be to receive the blessings. With that, I'm going to go because I got to get ready for work. Excuse me. So, remember to meditate, to do it right. It doesn't take any effort. It's just a matter of remaining alert and watching how what you're doing is you're observing your mind, and you're learning how it operates. You're going to see how it functions, and how it actually, you'll actually see and understand how all this works, and you'll become a real person. In the you'll see the dishonesty, the evil spirit. And with that, I'm going to go. I just want to thank everyone that watches these videos. I really appreciate it. And just stick with it. I know there's a few people that watch. Don't give up. And be brave, and you'll be free. It might, but don't try to make it happen, because that doesn't happen like that. You can't take heaven by force. It comes in when as much as you're ready for it, it will come in. And that's a letting go, and then a receiving of blessings, and letting go and receiving of blessings. And with that, I'm going to go. God bless you, and thanks for watching.